As of last fall, 84% of households in the U.S. had a computer, yet about 25% aren't protected with antivirus software. In this week's Compute This, a way to guard against threats that's essentially automatic. From Schrock Innovations, Thor Schrock. Good morning.
Good morning. Those numbers absolutely shock me.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when we first started doing radio shows and coming on TV and doing stuff, and it was back, you know, in the early 2000s, and nobody thought they needed antivirus. And you had to, it was an education plan. You had to continually say it over and over again, and then as people got hit, and one of their friends got hit, and they're like, oh my gosh, maybe I do need to listen to this guy. And you know, we actually, the Schrock customers are probably the most protected. In fact, one time, Symantec put out a statement basically that showed by geography, virus infections in the United States by geography, and it was all per capita average, so it wasn't like, you know, New York has more because they have more people. And actually in the eastern side of Nebraska was way down lower, and so we have no way to know that that was us, but we're like,
have a hunch.
Hey, you know, that's great, guys, you know, you're doing a good job.
You're talking about Secure Updater, which isn't like some other forms of antivirus on the market. What is it exactly, and how does it work?
One important distinction is Secure Updater is not antivirus. You still need antivirus software. Long story short, your antivirus is like an alarm system on your house. It's a sensor on all the doors and windows, and when a bad guy tries to come in, it sounds the alarm, and then, unlike an alarm system, has automated systems that take action to eliminate the intruder. Wouldn't that be a great alarm system? That was my dog. You know, no.
That's a horrible thought.
Yeah. So I mean, it basically takes care of the threat. It eliminates the virus. And so what happens though is your antivirus has to know where all the doors and windows are, and it has to know who to trust and who not to trust. So your antivirus trusts your Adobe Flash player. It trusts your Java. It trusts your Shockwave player. It trusts your Adobe Reader, because these are all programs that you use to do things on the internet. If it didn't trust those things, you wouldn't be able to watch online video. Your web page menus wouldn't work. There'd be all kinds of problems with the internet. You'd be in our shop every other day of the week saying, why can't I pay an online bill?
You have to have those programs.
You've got to have those. So what happens is those are trusted. And so the computer security is so advanced now, and so many people are using antivirus now, that the bad guys that need to get into computers to make money for themselves are saying it's way too hard just to attack Windows and get into the computer now. Instead, why don't we attack Adobe Flash Player, because the antivirus trusts Flash Player, and we can get in that way. So over time, Flash Player, you know, and other programs, there are exploits that are found, and then they come out with patches to seal those. The trouble is, no one downloads the patches. Now, some programs have automatic patching where they pop up and say, there's a patch available or an update.
Then you close the pop-up.
Yeah, maybe you think it's a fake pop-up, so you don't do it. Or if you do all the pop-ups, you're guaranteed to do a fake one.
But Secure Updater then, it runs in the background and makes sure that all of those patches are in place so that you don't have to wonder when that box comes up, is this legit? Is this a threat? I'll just close it and forget about it.
That's right, exactly. So when it pops up, you say, oh, that's not real, and you close it, because Secure Updater checks every 8 hours to make sure all those third-party programs are up to date. So the bottom line is, if you don't have antivirus software, you're going to get a virus. And a virus anymore, it's not just like the old days where it's like, oh, I have a little virus, I'll clean it up after. I'll install some antivirus once I get infected. They all have algorithms, all the viruses do, that once they're in the computer, if you try to install antivirus, it just kills the installer. So you can't install antivirus once you're infected. Secondly, viruses run the gambit now, all the way from keyloggers that record passwords and things like that, all the way up to extortion software that encrypts everything on your hard drive. We had a customer in our Papillion service center, had his entire hard drive and his backup drive encrypted.
Oh my gosh.
And he said, what do I do? And they said, I have 72 hours to pay a $600 Bitcoin ransom. Well, your choice is not to pay the ransom or to pay the ransom. And even if we pay the ransom, remember, you're dealing with criminals. You know, their software that encrypts everything is really good, and as we found out, unfortunately, the software to decrypt things is not so good. He still, even though he paid the ransom, lost half his data. But if he would have had Secure Updater, that's how that got in. He had antivirus.
It would have closed the hole before the criminals got into the system.
Yep, because it checks every 8 hours for patches.
How can our viewers get it? Do you have to bring your tower into one of the service centers, and then what's the cost?
Sure, it's super easy. In fact, if you go to secureupdater.com, you can get a free 14-day trial. So if you think your computer is up to date, if you think you're the man or you're the woman and you're doing a great job, go to secureupdater.com and download the free trial, and it will tell you, it'll pop up a balloon that says, you know, updating one of 4 programs, and you're going to say, wow, I didn't even know those were out of date. Because literally we update Secure Updater's database every day. So then when you buy the program, normally it's $50 for the first year and $25 each additional year. This week only, we have a special going where you can purchase it for only $25. And the best part is you don't have to bring your computer in. You can just call us. We can do it over the Schrock desk remotely, or we can just, if you have the trial installed, we'll just give you your username and password once you paid, and then you plug it in and you're good to go.
This week, though.
This week
Take advantage while you can. Thor's not here to scare anybody. It's just about being informed and to know what are the threats out there today and what can I do about them.
Should we do a scary segment next week? I mean, we could do
hold flashlights
we
here.
could do dim the lights down, get a little campfire going.
Thank you, Thor.
Thank you.
It's good to see you. We'll see you next Monday.
Sounds
okay.
good.